Hello, and welcome to the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I'm your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I'm Kurdan Sourpuss, a drunk Sourpuss.
And we have a few subjects to talk about today.
Yes.
So, let's talk about cars for a moment, where I'm almost done paying my car. I've got $3,000 left on the loan.
Nice.
This is a 5-year loan that I'm going to be paying off starting from last September. Well, really last October. I bought the car in September. You get a grace period of about a month of no payments. If you do a down payment, you get about a month before you start paying. So I would be able to pay off my car in 14 months instead of 5 years, which is fantastic. And in the state of Wisconsin, there is what is called a early payment loan forgiveness.
Okay.
Meaning you can pay whatever loan as fast as you can and it will not affect you. Or will it actually, the bank, punish you for paying too soon? Because the most...
Can they, though? Can they punish people for paying off loans too fast?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't know about the state of Illinois, but the state of Wisconsin, they forbid that.
So what do if you pay it off too early?
You get fined heavily for it.
Fined?
Well, not fined, but you get fees. So you get fees to make up for whatever lost revenue they might get over you.
Poor them.
Exactly. And they already make tons of money anyway on home mortgages. Whereas everyone's got a car loan. I don't think they'll have to worry so much about that, but I don't know about the state of Illinois, but I know you paid your car off earlier than expected, but I don't know if you ever got fined for or got a penalty fee for paying early, because I don't know if Illinois has early loan payment.
I don't know. The last loan that I paid off was my loan for my cosmetology license, schooling.
And you don't remember getting extra fees from that?
No, I did not.
So it looks like the state of Illinois is similar to the state of Wisconsin in terms of...
But that was through...
That's any kind of loan.
It wasn't through the state of Illinois, though.
It's got to be.
No, I mean, the bank itself was from, like, Nebraska or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well then I guess it's through Nebraska then, so at that point it's null and void about Illinois. But anyway, I'm not far from getting my car paid off, because I'd like to start saving again, but I don't have any savings if I'm paying a car off at breakneck speed. And you've got some issues with your car that you're not too happy about.
Oh, yeah, well, like, before I moved up here, in fact, just before I moved up, maybe 2 or 3 months before I moved up here, my muffler line had a huge gaping hole. I think it just broke. So it was just loud, like loud as hell.
Okay.
And me being the not so familiar with car poos that I am, panicked and went and got it fixed right away. And here we are now, almost an exact year later.
I thought it was almost two years ago.
No, it was just before I moved up here. It's only been a year. And I already have issues again, which tells me that maybe they didn't do a good job fixing it.
Or they used a used part instead of a new part.
Ugh. And it charged me the new price for it.
Or they're going to do the same or what happens if we find HVAC tape down there? Because that.
If we do, I'm driving to Illinois.
Because that's the fix that I plan on doing with your car.
If we find HVAC tape,
and it just blew through again,
I will drive down to that mechanic.
Well, we'll take pictures. We'll take pictures and print them and show them.
Yeah, we will definitely have words, because I will not be a happy kitty.
So here's actually one fun way here's an old school trick that I learned from my dad.
Yeah.
So I had a 96 Cavalier, and you've got your engine. The exhaust comes out of the engine into what is called an exhaust manifold, which that goes either into, well, modern cars have a combined manifold catalytic converter unit,
Oh, yeah.
which is stupid because sometimes you can damage your cat that way by...
damage your cab.
Well, with modern units it's stupid, but with older cars they're set in the middle of the car, which is better. So, after the manifold, there's a bend pipe that goes around the engine underneath the car, and that meets to the pipe, the straight pipe, into the catalytic converter, and then snakes your way underneath the car and out the back.
Right.
I had a long 16-inch rip along the bend pipe. And my dad's fixed because my dad's a genius at times. Sometimes he does a lot of stupid things, but oh boy, does he have some good ideas when they do come up. We used aluminum foil-like tape for HVAC systems to help seal up systems, right?
Okay.
Well, it's also shiny, so it's meant to reflect heat off. Well, my dad used an entire roll on 16 inches on that bend pipe. And this bend pipe is not far away from that engine, both in terms of combustion, because it's almost directly out of the engine, and it wraps around the engine too. So it's got heat on the inside from the combustion cycle, and heat on the outside from the heat of the engine itself.
Would you say, by the way, is that like kind of a design flaw because of the fact that it kind of wraps around the engine a little bit?
Actually, I don't know. It's not so much a design flaw. It's just...
I mean, the fact that it's literally by extra heat. More so than probably what it would...
I would say with the heat in winter, it would keep things clear if things are warm down there.
I mean,
don't know.
obviously heat goes through the pipe anyway. Would that extra heat from the engine be hard on it?
No, I don't think so. It's just an old car that eventually the pipe would snap.
Right.
So my dad used a full roll of HVAC tape on it, and it lasted me 3 years before it finally burnt through.
That's impressive.
So, the fun fix you learned today is if you have a pinhole leak on your pipe, on your exhaust pipe, or even muffler, if you're creative enough to find a way to fix it, wrap as much in small little sections. Keep wrapping it all the way around your exhaust pipe, pretty much the whole exhaust system in that area. If you use enough HVAC tape on your muffler, it will last a long time to where you can save yourself hundreds of dollars with just I forget how much they go for, so we're gonna find out tomorrow. I'm gonna say maybe $12 or $15.
I can handle that.
And the cost of that tape is going to save you tons of money than if you were to go out and, especially for an older car, if it's a car newer than 10 years old, it may be worth getting a newer exhaust and paying it outright that way. But when you have an older car, it's not worth it. That's when you would find the opportunity to MacGyver your way out of situations.
Nice reference.
So that's what we're hoping tomorrow to do, is to find a little pinhole leak underneath and just kind of patch it up there, and then hopefully it'll last long enough till you don't need the car anymore.
Yep.
It's really not a bad car. You've actually, right now, the car does not have that much mileage for how old it is.
Right.
It's only 18 years old, and my Cavalier at 18 was already a rotting death trap. Your car is still in good structural shape anyway.
Yeah.
You take good care of it, so I don't see why you couldn't keep the car a little longer if you wanted to.
If I needed to.
Now, as far as car repairs are concerned, certain types of repairs you never want to fool around with. Like starters. You definitely want to get to work. You want to get home from work. You want to make sure your car starts. Start is a more important thing. Brakes, whether they're drums or discs, that's something you should never skimp out on, ever.
Which I just did. I just did my brake pads and rotors.
So, I would say those are pretty important.
And calipers.
Right. I mean, that's all part of the brake system.
I took care of the calipers, too.
There's certain things you could probably get away with. Let's say suspension. Unless a coil is snapped or a leaf spring is snapped, you could really drive a car without shocks. It's not the most comfortable thing to do, but you can live without it if it's an older car. If it's a newer car, you're better off paying for it. It really depends on situation.
Yeah.
But sometimes the cheapest fix are the ones that are not approved by a dealership.
Yep.
The ones that are not going to hurt the function of the car, but also is not going to make it a death trap. As far as I'm concerned, you could fix your exhaust leak by having a lot of HVAC tape and just use a crap ton of it and then be done.
Yep.
I swear by it. My dad's used it. I think the only pain in the ass you really need to do is just wait till it cools down so that you can start wrapping it, and put the car on ramps to lift it up a bit higher, crawl underneath it, and then just wrap it around. So it's also maybe not a bad idea to look underneath your car just to see how it's doing. But I'm not too concerned about your car.
Yeah.
Because your car is in really fantastic shape, minus a bit of rust around the rear right wheel arch, which for Honda Accords of that time period is typical.
Yep.
Really, your car's not bad shape.
Yep. So I have something for you. You might find this interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was pondering this for a while, and finally the curiosity got the best of me, and I had to look it up because I used to know this, and I don't remember. It's been a long time since I had gone through this, so occasionally our assistant manager at the store, who's leaving soon, buys us snacks and stuff, and I always have the opportunity to go back there and grab as much as I can before it all disappears. And I grabbed a bunch of the small little snack-sized packets of M&Ms.
Because everybody likes free stuff.
Yes, of course, and he knows this. But I was sitting there at lunch the other day, and I was like, M&Ms. Why are they called M&Ms?
Why are they called M&Ms?
I used to know this, and I had forgotten. So
Melon and melon.
The two M's represent the names of actually Forrest E. Mars, a.k.a. the Mars Bar guy.
Okay.
Senior, who was the founder of the Newark Company, and Bruce Murray, who is the son of Hershey Chocolate's president, William F.R. Murray. So it's named after two people with the last name M.
So they are the chocolate giants of industry.
Yeah, Mars and Murray, a.k.a. Murray, a.k.a. Hershey.
Which really is the Hershey Company, because it is the Hershey Company, I think.
Yeah.
I have to say, I do love M&Ms. Yeah, I don't mind the ones with peanuts in them.
Yeah.
But I just like the standard classic M&Ms.
Yeah, I don't like the peanuts. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, they're okay, but
I'm not disappointed, but it's like, okay, I'll have it. But if they're like standard chocolate M&Ms, even the mint ones,
yeah.
Oh, I'm all over that until they're gone.
I will say that their advertising campaign has always been amazing.
It's always been cute.
Ever since they introduced the actual like
M&M characters.
yeah, like living, breathing, talking. One of the guys.
He does exist. They do exist. Oh, Santa? Yeah. Now, that is maybe the longest running ad they've had this past 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty cute. It's still funny. It's like, yeah, it's stupid, but you know what? You gotta laugh at it.
I swear one of the guys that voices, I think the main, not the big stupid peanut guy, but the other guy.
The red one.
I believe that's the voice actor from Futurama.
Oh, Philip Fry.
Yeah.
The guy who's Philip Fry, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I never made that connection.
I'm pretty sure that's the same voice actor.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Talk about, and that guy goes to cons. He goes to anime cons all the time for Futurama fans.
I would. If I were...
We need to go to it. If cons ever happen, I really want to go to an anime con.
The anime cons are pretty fun. I mean, there's Amki in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
And that one I went to once. And actually, the one time I went was quite fun. But, yeah, I mean, you could certainly go in suit, but...
Well, I would go in suit, but I would also go in Spidey suit.
Aw.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Spider-Man. Actually, I've been to 3 anime cons. I've been to...
All without me, by the way.
Yeah.
I think one of them was while we were dating.
Did we?
No, one of them you went to while we were dating. The other 2, I think we didn't know each other.
We went to 2.
No.
Or I went to 2 while we were dating.
Oh, you went to 2? No, see, now you're making me feel worse.
Because
I would have liked to have gone with.
There was once in 2014, 2013 or 2014, and that was with Ben and Rusty. We went to ASUN in Chicago.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. Then the next one I went to was...
What was the hotel for that? Do we know?
The Rosemont. The same con as MFF, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And that one's got, I think, 30,000 people that show up to it.
Because I remember going to a con. I think it was an anime con. But it was in downtown Chicago. Does that still exist?
I know of ASUN, and ASUN's in Chicago, so you might be thinking of that one. And then there's Kitsune Con up in Appleton, but we only went to it for the last 51 minutes before they literally all booked it out. So the second one didn't really quite matter because I was only
Must
there.
Have been ASUN. I went there. I was actually there by accident while it was happening.
And then there's Anime Milwaukee in 2016. No, 2017. In 2017, I went, I think.
So I was at an anime con by accident. Probably in the early to mid 2000s. It was one of those times where I would go clubbing on the weekend, and then the next day
You would loaf.
I would loaf in downtown Chicago. And eventually, if I couldn't make my way home, I would call a friend and have them pick me up.
Well, that's nice.
Otherwise, I would just loaf around and then eventually take a train back home. Because really, transportation in Chicago is not hard to come by.
No.
There's so many ways to get around down there.
Hell, you could even take a taxi, but that would have been expensive.
Yeah. Taxis I've done many times. Oh, this was before Uber was a big thing even back then. I don't think it was even a thing in the early 2000s.
I think Uber's only been around for 4 years.
It's not that old.
4 or 5 years. I don't think Uber has been around for that long, no.
Huh.
The same with Lyft. I was once confused for a Uber and a Lyft driver.
I remember that.
So I'm going to tell a story.
You told this at a convention one time.
I may have told this at a convention.
You did.
Which I still have to upload that video, but since we got all the time in the world, I can. I'm going to tell it here. So back in 2017, Yes, this was actually back in 2017. I was still going to these meets. Crunching.
Fur meats you're talking, right?
Crunching cat. An aggressively firm, loafing, crunching cat.
ASMR cat.
So, I was going to pick up a friend in Madison by the name of Nuvix, which I don't know if many people know Nuvix, but Nuvix. Okay. So he wanted a ride, and I was offering. And he told me that he'd be standing outside by his apartment near a streetlight and meet him there. So I finally get there, told him that I was going to be there, told him when I was arriving. Then I saw a lone figure outside standing.
Now wait, how well did you know this guy?
I only met him a few times, but I didn't meet him. I only met him at least 3 times, and of that, this was the 3rd and final time, and after that, I think he moved to Michigan or something like that.
Okay.
So, I saw a figure outside, didn't see the face, came around, and then literally parked by the same spot that he told me that he'd be standing there, which there was a person sitting there. Guy opened the door and says, "Oh, I see that you have a tote in the back seat." And it's like, "Yeah, is that a problem?" "Yeah, it's a big problem." It's like, I was not expecting other people, and I didn't see his face because of the shadows created by the streetlight. So it's like I wasn't certain this is Nuvix or not. I only met him once or twice before, and I was only in passing. And he says that this wasn't going to work out. And it's like, really, really confused. I was going to give him gas money and say, "Hey, if you needed lift money, here, I got some." No. Well, that's fine. Like, oh, okay. So then I drove away, parked around the corner, and then messaged Nuvix, "Sorry that I didn't have enough space in Marshmallow," and which is the name of my old car. And he was like, "What's a marshmallow?" And I got really confused there for a moment, thinking, "Wait, were you outside?" And like, "No, I'm still in my apartment." Oh. Then all of a sudden, this BMW 5 Series comes zipping around and parks right beside me on the side of the road. Then this guy, the driver, the Uber driver, got out of his car and he started to get really, really verbal with me. He was angry. He was yelling at me. And I thought, well, fuck, what the hell did I get myself into? Then he asked me, "Are you a Lyft driver or are you a Uber driver?" And I says, "I'm neither." Then I looked past him and I saw the guy in the passenger seat did not look like Nuvix. Then I looked in the back seat and there were these 2 young blonde girls, probably maybe 10 and 12 years old each. And that's when I realized, oh, different person. Then I told the Uber driver, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm actually supposed to pick someone up, nondescript, in that same exact location. I happen to be this person who I'm mistaken to be my friend." And then he just kind of scoffed, walked away, got in his car, and drove off. Then I told Nuvix, "Hey, can you come outside? I am here. I got a story to tell you." So crazy. And I can understand Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Your time is money, and I can understand that.
Right, definitely.
If you're going to get verbal with people, you need to find a better job. I understand that every fare you need is what you need to make.
Sure.
But you also have to understand that rare mistake happens, like what happened with me.
Yeah, misunderstandings.
Or it's like I ordered Mexican food on Thursday from my favorite Mexican place out in Waukesha called El Palmar, which the food's fantastic.
Have we gone there?
What?
Did we go there a lot?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Okay, I know the place we're talking about.
Yeah, the one on Main Street.
Yeah, it's a good place.
It's really a very good place. It makes your face and your ass burn. Which you know, once you see ethnic Mexicans eat there, and when you know that your face and ass burn like hell the night of and the morning of, you know it's a fantastic place. And apparently I made the mistake when I was putting my delivery address. I wasn't certain if it was the pickup address to get the food or if it was the delivery address where it gets delivered. So for some reason I had the building number and the street name of the pickup location on my delivery address. And this poor guy was actually trying to figure it out, which obviously you've got an address in Waukesha where you pick it up, but there's also an address in New Berlin where you drop it off.
Right.
I felt bad for the guy because apparently he was fiddling around for like 10-20 minutes trying to find what address it is, and then he finally found it, and he was pretty stern with me. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't use Uber Eats or Uber Eats? Yeah.
Uber
See,
Eats. Yep, that's right.
I actually did tip the guy well. So I don't know what he was complaining about, if it was gas or a time waste. But I still tipped this guy anyway. But an honest mistake can be made, but it almost seemed like he was scolding me like a child.
Yeah.
Or like Trump. Where you're like giving me the finger, wagging one's finger at me to say, hey, you need to change that on your account. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, yes, you should be able to figure this out as well, especially when I had my full address on it. I don't know. I kind of felt bad for the guy, but also you need to find a different line of work if you're worried about time and your gas money for a job that involves your time and gas money.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what to exactly think about that. I felt bad for the guy, but you're also a delivery job. Granted, in this trying times, any job is better than nothing. But you're going to be making your fare anyway throughout the night. So,
yep.
So pretty much, yeah, there's been some mistakes. I can see why it gets pretty aggressive with people to make as much money as they can.
Sure.
But like anything is a job, and yes, you can take it seriously. But you know there could be better prospects out there if you keep looking. Like Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Grubhub is one of those jobs where you want to do for a while. Not everyone does it for very long either. They might do it for maybe 4 or 5 months before they get sick of it. Then they find another job.
Not something you want to make your life's work, that's for sure.
Right. It's meant to be a come about. It's meant to be something that will get you by until you find something substantial.
Like a summer job almost.
Well, actually for a kid probably, but in these times a lot of people are doing that kind of stuff, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. If you really need the money, I don't blame you one bit. People do make mistakes, but you shouldn't get angry at your customers. I didn't give him a bad review, but a lot of people would say, well, this guy was complaining about something that I may have made a mistake of. But that comes with the job. Yeah. I don't know. I could be complaining about absolutely nothing like I normally do, but... So what do you want to talk about next?
How about butts?
Let's talk about butts.
The reason I bring up butts is because of this butt.
It's a very jiggly butt.
Yep.
With a giant penis going in it.
Yep. And a jock strap.
My favorite kind of butts is like fursuit butts or like butts in arts. I just like butts. I'm an ass hound.
I like the spandexy butts.
Especially when it has great definition when
Yep.
they wear them, yeah. When you can see the cleftal horizon and their gooch and their sack and
The
whatnot.
gooch and the sack are important. Yep,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
It's almost as if they're not wearing anything at all, but they are wearing something. Yeah. Or that, or when their ass like inhales their fabric and it just like goes in and it's like a black hole. It's like
I've actually seen videos of people trying to fuck through spandex.
I'm trying to like burrow through the fabric and just
Not even make it through.
oh, they just fuck it with the spandex.
Yep.
Oh god.
Doesn't that seem like it'd be hard on your penis?
And on the ass, I'm sure.
Take my penis.
How would you like a cloth?
And all this cloth.
This cloth cheese grater, because I'm sure that would chafe so bad.
Some people are into that. I mean,
Some people are into that,
I
yeah.
love the cheese grater effect. Not so much in my ass.
When you do it to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, like, I love looking at it. Wearing it, I'm okay. I mean, I enjoy wearing the Spidey suit. It feels tremendous. But after a while, the hair, like, when you put it on, you're pulling it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
All your hairs are,
Going up. So
Cool.
you become a fuzzy kitten
right, your
when
hair
you're
is,
pulling out.
your hairs grow kind of generally in a downward position.
Yep.
So when you pull on tights or like Spidey suits or any of those Sentai suits, you're fuzzy kittying all your hairs.
You become a really, really fuzzy kitten sourpuss.
Yeah. And I guess if I had to complain about it, which I don't want to complain because it is one of my prime fetishes, but,
Being fuzzy.
well, no, the
Oh.
spandex.
Spandex.
But the hair thing, after a while, it bothers me. Just having my hair patted the wrong direction.
You're a true cat.
Kind of like what you do to Sylvester.
He likes it somehow, and then he just gets enough of it and say, okay, no more.
Yep. Then the bites start happening.
But the bites are very cute, though.
Uh-huh. Until they break the skin.
Yeah.
Actually, his claw's really what breaks the skin more than anything.
Yeah, he actually doesn't really bite hard.
He doesn't even, I don't think he even means to.
I think he feels like he's playing.
He still thinks he's a kitten.
He's a kitten at heart.
Most definitely still a kitten.
Now when I have him on my lap and just absolutely like get face to face with him, and then he'll push me away
Yeah.
like a poos would,
Oh, and you carry him around.
and he don't like
And
that.
get your face in his face.
Yeah.
He's like, all personal space is off.
Yeah.
I mean, he instant tongue baths himself after you're done with him.
Oh.
He's like, I must get all these human germs off of me.
Lick, 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 lick.
Yep. He's a good kitty, though.
So we're talking about butts, and fursuit butts are like my number one favorite thing to look at, because there's a lot of incredible fursuit butts out there, and I just want to like absolutely pet the butt.
What about pup suits or pet suits?
Pet suit butts?
Yeah, those are pretty impressive butts.
I would certainly poke at it.
Yep. She's grate your penis into
Into the pet suit butt. Yeah, butts are pretty nice. Ooh, are these pet suits?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of cool. The actual German Shepherd one looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised about the French Bulldog.
Yeah. I like how they have the pecs and the abs.
It is a nice touch, I have to admit.
Yep. He's wearing sandals. I don't know how I feel about that. It bothers me a little bit.
At that point, you may as well wear paws.
Yeah, I mean, the shoes...
This guy's wearing tabi boots.
Interesting choice.
Japanese tabi boots.
Oh, where it like splits the
Yeah.
toes apart.
Because there's actually little toe boots, the ones that Draeger wears. Those are called something else. Tabi boots is just when the main toes or the other toes are into one. It's pretty much a split sole toe boot.
They're doing like the Vulcan hand salute.
They're doing the Vulcan hand salute with their feet. That's funny.
That's what I always think of when I see that.
But butts in general, I like them. I like the butts.
We know.
Some people say I like butts too much. Now, okay, so in high school, I had a lot of friends that, during study hall, which I rarely had that class, but I noticed in the last 2 years of high school, I finally had a study hall each quarter.
Yeah.
Just I figured, why not? It'll help me get some of my work done. Because I was a good hoosk. However, all my friends were looking at porn in high school. Which, take that as you will.
Now, how were they looking at it? How were they looking at porn?
They just found a way.
Like on their phones?
On their phone.
Okay.
So, my friend RJ is talking about, hey, you have to see these boobs. I'm like, RJ is a boob guy. Boobs are nice. I mean, I'm still bisexual male, okay. But I like butts though, and I'm trying to like show him, hey, you like boobs, right? Yeah. Well, what about downstairs boobs? The butt. It's like, oh, the butt? No, boobs. And we had this discussion about boobs and butt for about an hour, and we got yelled at, and we continued the conversation.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Fun times, though.
Yep.
Fun times talking about butts.
Yep. Butts and boobs. Boobs and butts.
Especially in fursuits. Especially in art. Then there's mersuits, and holy moly. Fun.
So, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you had to choose another species, not just another like dog type, an entirely new species for a fursona, say somebody was just forcing everyone to, in the fandom, you have to have a secondary animal type, what would you choose?
So, because I have both Dustin and Anton, and they're both canines.
Yep. You got to give up the canine. You can't go back to it.
I'd probably do like some kind of reindeer or elk or deer. Just massive giant spike and just start humping everything in sight.
Nubtail and all.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
I think we had this question before.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
But that's probably what I would pick.
Yeah. So me being a cat, primarily,
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pin myself into one category, Kurdan is a feline, so I would actually go to dog. And I'd probably do husky, actually. I probably would, because I love the curly tail.
Aw. I think this is deja vu. I think we've definitely done this question before.
We probably have. So fun to think about.
I mean, I do have a third Sona, and he's kind of like... If you think about a mothballed fleet, he's more like the third fursona that no one else really knows. I don't even think you've ever seen an image of him.
I have not.
Although I may end up actually just recreating him entirely, starting from a clean slate. But you'd be a Russian wolf. But that's for another day. Another
Do you have like
time
a
period.
color scheme that you had chosen for him?
Actually, it's the only time I've ever bought a pre-adopt or whatever it's called.
A what?
However, you buy a fursona.
Oh. Okay.
What's funny is I bought a fursona from someone who bought the fursona, so I'm the second owner of this fursona. So my wolf is used. He's quite simple, though I might maybe make him a little bit more complex just to make him a bit interesting. Though, where would I actually put him is like in my own realm of fursuiting, and because normally it goes forth as main character always forever is always going to be Dustin, and then you got Anton being secondary, and then tertiary? What's the word? So there's primary, secondary, and then there's tertiary?
Tertiary?
Tertiary, or whatever it's called, would be my Russian wolf named Cyril. However, since I bought him...
Was that the name given with him?
That's the name given with him, which I actually do like the name. I will actually keep the name. I may end up altering his color scheme a bit, and he'd be natural like Anton is.
Is he a gray wolf?
I actually don't know what he actually is. I just call him a Russian wolf. Because of the name, I'm sure he's probably Russian. So... one day, because I do have a ref art of him. However, it's buried deep in my hard drive that I don't even know where it is. It's there, I just don't know where it is.
How long have you had it for now?
7 years.
Wow, I never knew about this.
Yeah, 7 years. 7 years about. And so in this case, Cyril was technically my second Sona, and then Anton became my third, but I made Anton my secondary Sona, and then I moved Cyril to third. So there was a bit of a shuffle in terms of priority.
Yeah.
Because really, obviously Dustin's always going to be main character, main Sona. I do like Anton. He has his own personality, so he is really well developed at this point. As far as about, what type of doggo he is. Cyril, I have not touched at all, so it'll be fun to figure out what to really do with him in time. It'll be a side project at some point, but it is cool to have a third Sona. However, I don't think I ever want to buy... you know how we know a few friends that have a ton of fursonas, like oodles of them?
Yep.
Like, you don't know which one they are for a week because they switch almost weekly. Or there was one local named Darius, and he was a Martin a squirrel, a ferret.
What's a marten?
I don't exactly know what a marten genuinely is. I know it's a mustelid. So it's like a ferret, but it's not a ferret as far as I know.
Okay.
So think ferret, but not really ferret.
So it's in the ferret family.
Sort of, yeah. It's kind of like how polecat is kind of a ferret, but not really a ferret. Yeah. It is a ferret, but it's not really a ferret.
Right.
But
I think we call that the. Wow.
I wonder the audio caught.
I'm sure it did. That was the Kurdan poot.
Because Darius would often have changed his characters either on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. And he would never stay as one character. So we don't really know what to call him, so we always called him his very first character we knew him as, and that was Darius, because it was easier to keep up with it. So I don't think we'll ever have more than 3 fursonas. And really, you'll probably only see Dustin and Anton on a regular basis. So.
You know that Wish advertisement?
Yeah.
That comes up on Twitter, or not? I guess it comes on Twitter too, but Facebook generally.
You mean like Wish the website, like
yes.
Like these deals, hot deals?
Yeah.
I know about Wish, but I don't know much about it.
I've never used it, but they use an algorithm that goes by your
searches,
and slowly but surely they've been hitting the mark like almost exactly. I'll never give them my money because I don't trust it.
Is it more pup hoods?
Well, it's just all like spandexy related and superhero related. And I'm like, wow, okay, they've got me pegged.
They got you floored.
I mean, it is just using a basic algorithm to basically pin down your interests.
I mean, like, what do you look at 5 times out of 5 or 10 times out of 5? Because they know
spandex penises. You're like, well, this guy likes spandex.
Because most websites will at least understand that you may visit their site maybe once or twice at most, and they never look at you again.
Right. I mean, that's how they
look at them again.
That's how they get money too. Half the time is by, attaching cookies to your account to sell interest to companies to advertise to you. In a nutshell.
And they say that companies need tax breaks, and not going to go too much into it, but they can do that to us, and they will still be hiding their money on a Cayman island somewhere, thinking they've made it big.
Yeah, just like banks. Our bank sells our information.
Yeah.
To all their business affiliates.
Not too impressed with that, but that's why I call it junk mail. That's why it's junk mail in the first place. Because you know you don't want it, but they'll send it to you anyway. So there we go.
Yeah. What happened at work today? Oh, God. It was such a great day today. Because Carol wasn't there. We were all singing, and it's like a different atmosphere when she's not around. Because
she's down. She's what's that SNL character?
Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer.
I guess you could call her the Debbie Downer of our department. I mean, she just maybe it's partially because she takes the job way too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, take it seriously enough to do a good job. But like, when you start getting mad at your coworkers because they're singing in the cooler in the back room while we're doing picks or moving shit around.
Yeah, it's pretty much destroying the fun out of any job.
You've gone too far. You're now ruining it for everyone else.
Plus, too, they see you're having fun and they're not, so they want to put you down.
Right, exactly.
It's like my boss.
That's partially why I think she doesn't like me, because she knows how much people do like me.
That's partially why my boss likes to tell us to get back to work, even if we're talking and doing our jobs at the same time. He just tells us to shut up and keep working because we're not talking to him.
See, my boss did that to me today, but she was kidding. She wasn't being serious about it.
I mean, yeah, we don't fuck around at my job, but it's not like we goof off so much that we're wasting company time. We rarely do because we're so busy that we literally cannot. We literally cannot waste time because it would get us in trouble anyway. Not to say it couldn't fire us because the company needs us way too much anyway.
Right.
But I find it amazing that either my boss is so lonely that he sees us talk among each other but not with him.
Oh, poor guy.
So he has to tell us to shut up because he's not in the conversation.
Yeah.
Yet the moment he wants to talk with us, we're stone cold with him.
Yeah.
Like, we're stone cold quiet.
What does he fucking expect? You told people to shut up and stop talking.
Yeah, so we're going to do exactly that.
Yeah. So with that in mind, like, because Carol wasn't there, we were all, like, it was basically party time. Like, even the department manager, like, chimes in and has fun. I mean, he's a really great soul. Like, he's a fun guy to be around. Like, he just, I can't even put it into words.
Fun people to work with is some of the best working experiences one can.
It just makes the job better.
When you have people that are so cool, not cool as in high school cool or, oh, he's a greaser so he must be cool. No, it's more like they make the day fun because they're interesting, they're fun, they're cool.
Right, especially when you're looking at the job that I'm doing, because today it was basically my turn to do disposals and donations. So I'm dealing with basically, say something comes in from a farmer and it doesn't have the plastic on it, so you don't know what it is. This is like missing. It's just a bottle with no label on it.
Oh.
Well, obviously we can't sell that to customers. But we can still donate it.
Right.
Because anybody that's, getting something from a charity is they're basically going to take whatever they can get, obviously.
Right. Oh, yeah.
As long as it's still good, it's not moldy, it's not disgusting.
I'm sure a lot of furries would say, if you have any hard liquor, please give it to us.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But
so I take it the hard liquor is the one thing that doesn't get donated.
It's not part of my department. And I don't think that it does get donated. I don't know what happens to it. I think the vendors pick it up and take it back. Because it's a vendor thing anyway. So, basically, I was dealing with 4 boxes of donatables and 8 tubs of disposal / compost. And when we say compost, I'm talking about a bad 10 bags of potatoes that smell like ass.
Potato ass.
Potato ass. Like 15 bags of oranges that all have mold in them. At least one orange that looks like it's had the life sucked out of it by this mold. Looks disgusting. Yeah. This is what I'm doing. And I'm loving it because I love the people that I'm working with.
Yeah. I
don't care. I wear protective gear. Thankfully, we have the masks. I would probably wear it anyway when I'm dealing with all this moldy shit because I don't want to, inhale.
Oh, yeah. Spores and whatnot.
Inhale the spores and all that, yeah. But because of the people that I work with are so enjoyable, they make the job enjoyable. So whatever crap I'm dealing with physically, mentally I'm in a great place because they're all good. We all fuck around, we have fun, we all sing and act like idiots, and don't judge each other. We just have fun and we just enjoy each other's company.
You know, people can find their dream job, but they may end up finding some of the worst people they will ever work with, or they will find a dream job and everything is great with the job,
right,
but no one has a personality. Now, yes, you can work there, work a career, work there 4 years, retire or whatnot, and then, spend your time in Florida like every other old person.
Right.
Or if you're brave enough, stay in Wisconsin and then, do that. You could have the most perfect job out there. Perfect wage, perfect boss, perfect workload. It's exactly what you wanted it to, and then all of a sudden, everyone's got zero personality.
Uh-huh.
You actually tried to be the life of the company by trying to make people laugh, and they don't.
Me personally, or just you?
Oh no, I'm just saying randomly. I'm just saying hypothetically for anyone that actually finds a perfect job in anything, you may come across a group of people that you cannot actually interact at all.
Zombies.
Total work zombies. And you know what? It's not enough for you to quit.
No.
It's not enough for you to start looking for other jobs. It just means, well, looks like the only thing that I can look forward to is getting out of work.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy working with my coworkers. So in some cases, even in my horrible, shitty job, there's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
None of the benefits excite me. My pay does not excite me one bit. I'd rather get paid like the old-fashioned way every day.
Yeah, a job like that, though, I feel like the days would just drag on forever.
In a perfect world situation, but with no personality coworkers, yeah, I would say so.
It would feel like an eternity. Like, oh my God, it's only been a half an hour.
And you don't talk to anyone because you don't like
I've
talking.
been in a job like that. Where I'm at now, and I'm not an advocate for working for Walmart. It's not a great company. But I tell you what, man, these days blow by so fast. Before you know it, it's like fucking 10 after, and I'm like, oh crap, it's already 1 o'clock. I have to go home. I lose track of time because I have so much to do. And none of it's that awful.
I wish I can do the thing I want to do all day.
Yeah.
I wish I had more autonomy to do what I should be doing. That way, my job would be a little bit more easier, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because, I believe a boss needs to do his job and tell what you probably should do. But I've had a lot of... This is my first micromanaged job I've ever had.
Ugh. I've been in so many of those.
And all other previous jobs, I've had bosses that tell me what to do, but otherwise, I know the routine so much, they often enough don't need to tell me anymore, and I just do it. Which feels great, because that means I know exactly what my boss is thinking.
Yeah.
He can do his own thing that it might be more important that we don't have to bother with, that he can do. We do the brunt work, but we are left alone to our own vices to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
That makes my job a bit more easier, makes the day go by quicker, because you know what? I know what I need to do, and I have autonomy. That's what makes my day go quicker. My boss makes it stretch out longer because he has to tell us everything what we need to do every second of the goddamn day.
Micromanager.
Yeah. And in reality, we need the Bobs to tell him, what is it that you actually do here? Because there's not much that he does that a lot of people can't really do. But he also chooses...
What would you say
you do
here?
Yeah.
Yep.
I may have to print that out, find a place in the warehouse where they don't plan on tearing it down for a few years and just hide it there.
Yep.
By the time that they find it, I'm long gone.
Yep.
See, some people are gifted. While I can be jealous, you know what? Good for them. But you know what?
What, that he can fuck his own,
Butthole?
no,
Belly button?
belly button hole with his penis.
I mean, that is totally a gift.
I feel
But
like it could be a gift and a curse.
I think it's a total curse because I think so many people now. Okay, we're gonna. So since this is the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, it's a show about nothing. We're gonna go straight from talking about butts, talking about jobs, back to butts. Now this is about penises.
Yep.
Now we're talking about penises. Okay. Out there in the world, I think there are way too many men out there, and women, who are self-conscious about their size. And in my opinion, it's dumb. You should not have to feel like you need to overcompensate for your size.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, you're big enough for anyone. You really don't feel past more than 2 inches in the human ass. Or that are in the vagina for sex. We're talking about sex now. That's a first.
Are we?
I forget. While having sex, you only really feel 2 inches inside.
What do you mean feel 2 inches?
Really, your nerve endings in your ass, vagina, and ass. Really, you can feel that much, but beyond that, there's not enough nerve endings for you to feel much of anything.
What about that guy that had that, 2 foot long dildo?
He probably didn't feel anything inside. You can feel physically your intestines move around inside, but you really can't feel sensation, the stretch, the pull, the whatever. No, you don't feel that.
I feel when I have the shits.
See, we talked about shitting again.
Well,
See, hey, everybody, we
say you're, you get the shits from drinking too much beer and your intestines.
That's something entirely different, but you can still feel that. However, I am talking about on a sexual level. You don't need a giant dick.
But if you have a huge penis that's pushing all your organs out of the way, you're gonna feel that.
You can actually feel it. I'm just saying is the dick part. Feeling the other guy's dick. You will only feel 2 inches inside of your rectum. Yeah, you can feel what else is
proven scientifically.
Yeah, the nerve endings in the ass only go in about 2 inches. So you can have a 2-inch dick and you can still satisfy someone. The same with the vagina. You only need a 2-inch penis to really satisfy. Actually, any size penis, you can still satisfy someone. Because they will still feel it.
Not the women I know. And I work with a lot of women. I'll tell you that. My God.
Well, some people are size queens, and that's the thing.
Every fucking one of them over there is a size queen.
Everyone's a size queen until they realize, holy cow, this guy is huge. Then they're too terrified.
They realize it when holy cow, this guy has no personality and is a douche.
Because of his giant dick.
Yeah.
Not to say they're all like that, but I have met a few people out there with giant schlongs.
Yep.
That literally have zero personality because they have a big dick. They get the personality from their dick. Their dick's the personality.
The dick is the personality.
When it comes to sex, they want your ass, but and often enough, have you noticed that a lot of the bottoms in this fandom, not switches, because there's going to be switches with big dicks in this fandom.
Yeah.
I've noticed some pure bottom furries in this fandom that don't care about topping at all.
Yeah.
Have some of the biggest giant dicks I've ever seen.
That's not just in the fandom. That's
anywhere.
Very
yeah.
common in just the gay world in general.
It's just.
I have noticed that though. I definitely have noticed.
I just only noticed it in the furry fandom because I'm only stuck in the furry fandom.
I know you were.
And they have giant, giant, giant dicks.
Yep.
So much so that even full-on tops that find these magnificent beauties in the wild and actually try to get them to top them to feel their size. And even they say, nah, it doesn't interest them. You know what?
You know why I think... This is just me taking a wild stab in the dark.
Good, because I don't know much about it.
I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by topping because they don't feel like they'll be able to perform. That's just my theory.
I think because their dicks are so big that
it's so
they
much
can't...
easier to just take a dick up the butt.
I think it has more to do with... It's kind of like with your friend back 20 years ago. The big guy where he had to massage the blood into his dick to get hard.
One of the first guys I ever went home with at a club in downtown Chicago. Not my friend. He was going to be a one-night stand. He was a really nice guy, too. I would have dated him if I had been. But anyway, yeah, he had a... God, what did I say? 8-inch or 10-inch dick?
It was huge.
I think it was 10 inches.
Okay.
It could never be completely hard from one end to the other.
Right.
Because it was so fucking long.
It was so fucking long that he had to massage the blood into his dick to get it hard.
Not just massage it, you had to squeeze it to get it all the way to the tip. By the time the tip end was hard, the bottom half of it, connected to the rest of the body,
got soft.
Was just soft. There wasn't enough blood flow in there.
See, now that's a true curse.
Yeah.
You can have the biggest dick in the world.
And that could just be, him. Not everybody. I'm sure there are people that have penises that work fine. Every dick is a little bit different.
Every penis is different in the world, but I do notice that the bigger the dick you are, not your personality, just your phallus.
The bigger the dick you are, the better.
The size of your dick, the bigger and the thicker or the longer you are, it will be a little bit harder for you to stay hard regardless. Because that's a lot of blood. Because really, biology is an amazing thing. And it's like with any animal on the planet that has a penis. Yeah. It uses blood as a form to really strengthen, harden dicks. Pretty much the way how it performs is blood flow. Well, yeah, you can have the flow that you need, but you don't have the blood to actually make it work, you're not going to get hard. Whereas most small dicks are always going to be rock hard. Just because there's not I'm going to be very, very frank. There's not enough dick. Actually, no. Well, how am I supposed to word that? The size of dick, if you've got anything from 6 inches and under, you're going to have no problem staying hard regardless.
Because not as much blood is
needed.
Required.
Exactly.
To keep it. Because it's one of the most common misconceptions of a penis, especially if you're not a male or don't have a penis, is the penis is not a muscle.
No, it's not a muscle. It's a sponge.
It's just tissue.
Yeah.
That appears to move. Well, it can move.
It can move, but it's not prehensile.
Because of, not because of muscle, because of...
the dick sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that engorges with blood, which keeps it strong, which keeps it firm. And then it does the deed.
Which is funny when you say firm, it made me think of tofu.
Firm tofu.
Because we have firm tofu in our fresh department, and whenever I see it, I'm always like, hey, Lauren, this tofu is firm. I don't know, I might... firm tofu.
Maybe after this subject, I would not mind talking about tofu for a short bit, but...
I don't have a lot of time left.
Pretty much, with a dick... I mean, yeah, a big dick is great, but a lot of people are actually kind of afraid of a big dick. They're actually afraid of being snapped in half. Yeah. But also, from a lot of people that I've talked who has a big dick, they are having a hard time trying to find someone Normally it's for a one-night stand, but anyone to find, to find someone to have a... Now that's pretty nice. That's a nice loop. Pretty much, if you're going to look for someone with a big dick, you're really going to date the dick more than the person itself. And really, you should really date the person, not the dick. But a lot of people like to date for the dick.
Detach the penis from the rest of the person.
Or just hide it until like they want to do the deed and say, "Holy crap, you're big."
I need your penis. Okay.
I just know that with big dicks, it can be hard to get hard. Or it's usually the personalities talking when it comes to that. All I'm saying is, regardless of what your size is, you should be proud for it. Can't really dick shame because I don't think no one ever should.
Yeah.
Actually, frankly, dick shaming is stupid. Because that really makes you feel like an asshole to be dick shaming someone because they have a slightly smaller penis than you. It makes them feel a lot less, which really just makes you really a douchebag.
So what about this firm tofu?
Okay, so I don't know if many of you out there have ever tried tofu. Tofu's not bad. Tofu on its own, right out of the package, is kind of meh. I like to actually take firm tofu, pan fry it, and it tastes pretty damn good.
Why does it taste good though?
I don't know. It tastes. I mean, it is protein. You have to literally put in seasoning and sauces.
What do you season your tofu with?
Either it's chili. What's that? Sour sweet chili sauce or whatever it's called.
The chili sauce.
Yeah. The chili sauce is a great combination.
Sweet chili sauce.
Sweet chili, teriyaki, soy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Really, any kind of sauce that you can think of, you could probably make it with, unless it's like ranch.
I would like to try sweet and sour tofu.
That would be fun to try. And tofu doesn't cost that much. It's literally kind of man-made protein. It's natural, but you can actually make it. It's a good meat substitute. I do like my meat, but sometimes I'm in the mood for tofu, because sometimes it makes a great snack. It's a great carry-on snack. You can season it, pan fry it. It's really better pan fried. It's good with rice. It's good with noodles. It's pretty fantastic stuff. And at first, a long time, I really hated it. But that's because it's natural raw tofu. It's out of the box. You really, really want to do something with it because if you don't do anything with tofu, you're not going to have a good time. And I made tofu for my brother's Vietnamese girlfriend, and she absolutely loved my tofu. She says that it's made in the same way and tastes the same as her family does, which made me feel so proud because
that's pretty cool.
I've only made tofu in the last few years, and that made me feel really, really happy. So that was kind of nice. Unless she was just being friendly and it really sucked and she was just saying that to make me feel better.
I think, I know you're not a huge fan of it, but there's that one frozen dinner line that we have at work, I'm sure is actually at all supermarkets.
Does it contain kale?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No kale.
But it is a tofu.
It's worse than celery. Actually, I don't know. Celery is just as bad.
No, it doesn't have celery in it. But it's a tofu and kale scramble. The tofu scramble is so good.
I think you had me eat that once, and I.
God, it's so good. So good.
Oh yeah. Food is quite nice.
Yeah. Too bad you don't like the kale.
I gave it a try that one day, and
and it's my fault because I didn't do it right that time.
that was a lot of kale.
It was a lot of kale, but it wasn't that. It was because I did not. I swear, you have to try it again because I didn't do it right that time.
I'll think about it.
I did not remove the spines. The thing about kale that you have to understand, you guys, if you cook with kale, if you do not remove the spines, you'll be chewing on it for an eternity. Because you just chew and chew and chew and it never breaks down. Your mom did kale once. And I love your mom. She's a great cook, but she
didn't know how to make...
She didn't have a lot of experience with kale. And kale is one of those things where literally the last dish that I just made that I posted the photos on Twitter of, I spent 45 minutes to an hour just working with the kale. That's the majority of the preparation of that meal is just working with the kale and prepping it for cooking. Because if you just put it in as is, you get all these little stalks in there and those things. They're not supposed to be eaten. And you basically have enough hair to do a ponytail now. You are swirling and curling. And I'm actually getting ready to pass out here.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good time to call this quit, so.
But we'll try kale next time. With Italian sausage. Do you like spicy Italian sausage or mild Italian sausage?
It's got kale in it.
So spicy. I'll make it. I'll do it with spicy.
I'm gonna safety swirl.
I'll do it with spicy Italian sausage so you won't taste the kale at all.
Oh, safety swirl.
Ah.
Safety swirl.
I'll put extra tomatoes in there and onions.
Safety swirl.
I promise you'll like it. I promise.
I'll try it one time.
I had to bring
I
it.
will not have it again, but I'll try it one time.
I brought it to work twice for my supervisor because she loved it so much.
Aw.
But she said, can't you just do spinach in there? I'm like, nope, not with this recipe.
I actually don't mind spinach.
I could do it with spinach, but
I just don't like kale.
Kale works better.
Ah!
All the husky sounds.
Yeah, if it's got celery or kale, I will not touch it. I will refuse.
That's my fault. I prepped it wrong.
Okay, I think it's time for Cat to loaf and for me to somehow swirl or make food or something. So. Alright, well this has been another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast. I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And thanks for tuning in this time. We'll catch you next time.